Hi, welcome. How are we doing? I go by the Holy Cow. You know this. Maybe you don't. You are tapped into whatever sign this is. Summer spiritual overview message direct from Creator Prime Source. So I am just here as the conduit for the information you are looking for. I want to really get through these last three signs with the love and spirit of God's true, merciful, benevolent presence. So let's see. This is exciting. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. Who's up next? Oh, shit. Scorpio. I tried to be all like ridiculous and plentiful with you guys, and you're like, Alexis, don't fucking talk to me like that. Don't fucking talk to me. Fucked up. Okay. Scorps, what's up, babes? Okay, let's see what we got going, Scorpio. Let's get you guys hot and proper. So, Scorpio, happy summer. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, Scorpio, you're funny as fuck. Just saw a hangman. Where are we at, Scorpio? Scorpio, I love this. Scorpio, this is basically like, I feel like your reading is going to be plain and simple. I feel like you are in an era where you are totally integrated with what your role is. And that might be for once in your life. I know that sounds ridiculous. I know Scorpio is always like, I'm the most aware that bitches are going to fucking discriminate and do the Scorpio thing. But I genuinely feel like in your life right now, you are actually A-okay with being the motherfucker that's going to have to let the chopper sing. I think for far too long, Scorpio, I think this is what I really want to say. The people you love the most, like the things that are a part of your future, because you've got that deep pulse on like where we're transforming next, all of those things, you tend to save your most cutting like responses for those people. Rightfully so, because they can take it. They love you unconditionally. You want to show them that because you know that they're a part of the like pruning and transforming into the future. However, I feel like it's not proportionate. I love how we jumped to right, and I feel like it's not proportionate. I'm gonna just say off top, I don't feel like it's proportionate to what you give to these bitches. And I think that's the pickle that you might be in right now, because what brought you into this current present energy is like King of Swords. I'm gonna cut your head off. Genuinely, like Scorpio is like, oh, you girls didn't know I run the motherfucking Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, Scorpio is the Ferris wheel operator. And it's time for you girls to get stuck. Scorpio's like, I might leave you up there, bitch, on the Barbie. And why are you here, Scorpio? Because, like I just said, let's rewind to 20 seconds ago when I was talking about how typically you have this sometimes we feel good. Sometimes we got to tell bitches to fuck off. As it pertains to the times in life when it is time to tell someone to fuck off, because those moments will come, I think you're usually most comfortable in that archetype in general and accepting that you might have to show up that way with people you deeply adore. I know, because you're so comfortable with fucking transforming with them. These are the people that you know will like sizzle in the grill with you, like and turn into a french fry from a potato, stick. Yeah, you know that about those people, right? And so this is about Scorpio going back for all the other places where it would have also been just as useful to show up with that scorpionic, cunning, discerning ass, like, I'm gonna cut your inheritance today. Scorpio's like cutting niggas from the inheritance. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, you're cut out of it. Get the fuck out of here, guy. Scram, bitch. You're not in the prophecy anymore. Bye. It's not even the prophecy anymore. Your ass is in the prophecy as the bozo who got cut from the motherfucking bag. Yeah, that's what the fucking... Because Scorpio, you're like, all this rah-rah rigmarole, it's not going to take the fact that you own the 8th house. The fact that these girls are always going to be upset that you run their pockets too. I know. Even your baby daddy's money goes to Scorpio. I know. And I think we all hate that sense of powerlessness when it comes to you. Trust me, I know. My father's a Scorpio, and he would just fucking ruin my day. Like when he would get really pissed off at his children, but me specifically, when he'd get pissed off at me, which was always unjust because I was his successor, nigga would be like, and you're gonna not, he would just ruin and spoil something. He would just be like, you're not gonna get that. And he'd be like, and God said. So when you see me with that personality, shut the fuck up. Because that's who the fuck I got it from, Scorpio. You. Believe it or not. Yes. Mix that with a little Sagittarianism. I'm not a good guy. Alexis Ray is not somebody you really want in your personal quarters. No. I told y'all to leave me alone. I told y'all probably don't want none of this. It's not even worth it. That's the face. It's no. I said don't look at the flesh. Don't, because you're gonna get fucked up. You're gonna get fucked up. Scorpio, that's how you're talking. You're gonna get fucked up if you keep coming up to me thinking I'm not an insane motherfucker. It's like you're gonna get fucked up. And that's on Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio, you're basically cutting people out of the will. I don't know how else to put that. That's how we're starting this one off. Start cutting the bitches right out of the will, yes. Yes, and it looks like your pen is only inking in the bitches who was always mixing with you. You get what I'm saying? I just feel like, okay, so it's like you see what I talked about? It's like you cut, so when you're with a wheel of fortune, when something is a money bag, you said big no, but you said big yes. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, so basically, this is what I mean. This is a big cycle in helping you really refine your status as the OG merchant, the mover and shaker of the markets, okay? We know you do all of that. We know. But it looks like you had a very public... Okay, so this is what happened. The situation is for you, Scorpio. It's about essentially like an investment situation. And in so many words, you basically had to cut someone out of some part of your legacy, the inheritance you have that you would leave to someone else. You had to basically publicly remove someone from that you've written into your prophecy. So it's almost like it's awkward because there's accountability in it. So it's like you have to show face and basically get up there and be no. You have to basically be, because it looks like in the past you showed your ass. In the past, you mixed with something from a low spiritual understanding. So you basically busted your bussy meat open and claimed something and said, I'm going to mix with you. And you it's like really embarrassing actually, Scorpio, because you have too much depth for this. You see how this was not really that deep of a spiritual truth, but look how deeply you mixed your spiritual bussy meat. I think this is the part of you're still awakening. You're even more powerful. Scorpio, you're known as the fucking esoteric, generic, blah, 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 whatever. But also it's even more fucking crazy, kooky, and scary than that with your spirit. So Scorpio, it's even more, you can be even more conscious of what you are to as a soul. And yeah, that kind of looks like what's happening here, because it looks like a cycle has come back around. The wheel turned back around. Something that you once upon a time when you were way less spiritually where you are right now. I think this is a beautiful sign. You've just been G'ing up. If you really look back over the last decade of your life, I feel like you've just been going through spiritual upgrades that you've never seen before, because there are just phenomena happening on this planet that have never happened before, Scorpio. So it's you're spiritually ascending and elevating your capacities and your abilities, and you're not necessarily conscious. Unfortunately, there was something that happened in your past that you went up to and you said was true for you, and you mixed with it. You mixed your whole scorpionic juices with it. And you tooted it up, and you kind of said that this thing was earth angelic, but it was a little baby truth. It's not that. This is a Scorpio talking out of there. This is Scorpio. This is your form of glazing, because Scorpio's never going to glaze, right? We don't have that Libra vapidness. It's not, Scorpio could never detach. So glazing is for you is going to kind of more so just be you're just gonna look like you have bad taste, or you're showing your ass type of thing. It's gonna just more so because you're connecting unlike what Libra could do, which is they can kind of get away with glazing because they never really put their dick print in it. Your dick meat's all up in this. You went up to something in the past and you were I swear by this. This is such a cool, awesome idea. And then it's wheel turns and you have to go back up to that thing. You're way more spiritually advanced. But even delivering the same truth and having to follow up with it is really highlighting how much you did not realize how fucking stupid you used to look when you were asleep. It's not about how stupid you used to look, but you were doing the same thing. It's a cycle, a wheel turned right back in time. And it's a commitment you made that you can't stand behind, because it wasn't true. But this is kind of you kind of got to stand on it, because this is more about standing behind something you advocated as saying, I think Scorpio, you knew there was an angelic presence afoot, but you misidentified it. And I think you have to now pay the karma of the wheel turning for you, and you have to stand by, because if that thing was really an angel, when it's in its flop era, it would still administer angelic energy, but it doesn't. This is real earth angels, when they're about to die, they're still able to heal people. when something is a fraudulent angelic presence, it's not, when it's down, it's just the most dirty, musty, like mask off type of, what the fuck is this? This is bajiggity. This is bajiggity. You look at you went up to something last year, and I said last year, you went up to something and it's like, that's what I'm saying, because I just feel like it's like a cycle. It's like the year came and it's like you're in the same place maybe you always are, like, or something, you put something into motion that is crossing it. It's like making you realize that now the mature, spiritually awoke version of you had to say the same words you used to say, and you just know you've spiritually ascended. You know God is for real. You know, if you thought you already reached something, Scorpio, if you thought you already mastered something, you realize in this new worth, I don't know nothing. I really am a baby and I'm really starting over again. Because I was saying stuff was like godly, and I didn't know what I was talking about, is what Scorpio's on. Yeah. Scorpio is something that, so basically this is what's happening. There's Scorpio that's having, it's basically like, let's take the wildfires right now, right? Like pretty much like, I don't know. I mean, if you guys know anything about your nation's history, but from like a native lens, like all the Canadian government has ever done that has ever made it to my ears has just been just like lethal with the pipelines, like just absurd, excusing, you know, protecting the right to develop, to have total control essentially of urban development, and the ways that infrastructure goes, not and kind of over conflating that with like the security and safety that we all really need to be adhering to. Like sometimes it's just special interests that want this type of development to be happening. And because it's still just a very small special interest that wants to enact this because they have the capital to do so, they're gonna sometimes just intimidate the general masses into thinking that there are these ways that certain things have to be erected, and that's why we're choosing the most unethical way to do it. But we act sacrilegious with the land, it's gonna fucking burn up. It's gonna burn up, yes. So I feel like it's like that. It's like, what would a politician say on the day when there is World War III and they are the fucking politician that's like the biggest budget for our like nuclear warfare development shit? You know, it's like, what would you say on that day? Scorpio, that's kind of where you're at, because it looks like something that once upon a time you said, it's like, so now your new beginning. It's like, you know, there's a new beginning that is a seed that like you've since awoken and would never do, but you're about to watch you strike the match and then it goes out immediately. I also think you might have been in a cycle, Scorpio, where it's like you can start something or drop something or share something or do your usual like creative thing and your match goes out so quickly. Nothing is staying. It is connected again, and it has a deep connection to the thing that once upon a time you said was divine and it had nothing to do with God. And that was an abuse, because I think you knew better. You were playing God, you were playing up the aspect of where you do transform, you can create realities, you can change someone's life, Scorpio. So when you come from your ego, and the shadow side of Scorpio is when you're going to get yourself in dynamics like this, where you start walking around thinking that because I am a conduit for God's word, everything that I say, if I defer to my I and I, if I defer to myself, is high. This is basically like Scorpio being like, I'm untouchable. I make stars, I make hit makers, I transform people's lives, instead of being like, I'm the person God uses to transform people's lives. That is your message, Scorpio. That is exactly what this looks like to me. This cycle is reminding you, you have so much power. You are favored with so much love because God trusts you with one of the most sacred energy signatures there is, you know? And yet, you are being reminded that God uses you to bless others, and that you are merely just an instrument in that entire process. And I think that is something that you really need to look at your creations right now, the things that you make, and you need to think of them that way. That your role in it is not that you are God and that you made this and that I can give it or take it away. Because I think maybe that's how you were acting. Like when God is talking to you and concerning you and reminding you to remember that you also have a role that God has designed for you. When God is speaking to you that way, sometimes you respond from your ego and say, like, no, I created this whole thing, so you give and take away. You know? But in reality, whatever healing or blessings or magic comes from what you do is merely energy that flows through you on loan from God. I think this is true. You were expecting, this is a lot of what's going on for you right now, Scorpio, you already expected. I feel like a lot of this reading isn't new news. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I think that's quite literally what you're caught in between of. You were caught in the middle of yet another spiritual upgrade that you don't always get updated on. Sometimes God just upgrades your system. That's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Your system is being upgraded. I don't think you had conscious awareness that maybe that's what was happening to you while it was happening, but it was. And now, you're kind of in this position where it's like, okay, I really just want to be focused on soulmate energy, mirrored, just captivated by like real love that will stay through all the transformations. Because I think like you found the soulmate, and then this is just like a cycle. It's almost like bad timing. It's like you're what's basically, wow, Scorpio, basically the way that your cycles are lining up for you because of your ways that you've misaligned yourself. It's like every time it's time for you to make a statement, it's clashing with what's actually going on internally, which is you're actually making preparations for your soulmate. You're making preparations towards love, but like the truth that you keep announcing does not show what's really happening. That's why every time you claim some sort of truth, it like burns out really quickly. Because it's not the truth. It's not actually what's going on with Scorpio. Yeah, you really realize like there's a path that it's like you have this Nine of Pentacles. It's like it's very Venus and Virgo. You know the benefits you would get from this Nine of Pentacles and making a path with them. It's like your soulmate is at a Nine of Pentacles frequency. So if you are in this space where you're King of Swords reverse, because you used to be Page of Swords, you used to call everything, again, it's basically just running around and being like, oh, everything is like divine. Like you're Scorpio, like you can't be like angel numbers and shit. Like nigga, synchronicity, like just Webster, define synchronicity. That's what that is. Like repetitive numbers and shit, like that's for the girls who didn't go to like past third grade. Like you have to understand, Scorpio, like 444 in and of itself does not mean anything. Like it does, seeing that synchronicity in and of itself does not mean anything. The synchronicity in and of itself is letting you know God's language is apparent for you. If you see something as a synchronicity, that is evidence of a language with a creator source. Because what is synchronicity? The combination of all moving timelines at one time, converging in a point. That's a synchronicity. So whatever. But Scorpio, that's I think where you got, because you're kind of you're way too esoteric to be that vapid. Like stopping at like, show me a trick, God, stop. This is not Alice in Wonderland. Like this is grounded, ordinary, everyday magic. Like I just feel like, yeah, your soulmate is like really solid in independently sourcing physically for their life. Like they've already, I think what's so beautiful about this path that you want to go down is that they've already built the life that honors your spiritual truth. So I feel like you're very lucky, Scorpio, because this is someone who was like, you didn't really give them any of the respect, but just because God told them that you're for them, they've already bulldozed everything down in the new world so that your truth exists, so that if you choose to claim this path, it's like you can go down it. It's for you to go down. And it has no blockages. That's why it's almost like a complete rebirth is like, Two of Pentacles reversed with the Eight of Swords. I think in the near future, Scorpio, you're really, really going to know what... I think you're going to learn the polarities of infinity. I think you're learning that... I think, Scorpio, you might have been someone who was, like, abusing that, like, oh, I'll always have you, or you'll always be there, because someone being, like, a soulmate and being for you does not mean you just get them. Getting them is a part of aligning your flesh with your spirit. So I think you may not be aligning your flesh with your spirit. So you're actually I think this is kind of heavy, Scorpio, because in the near future, you're actually realizing the worst feeling in the world right now is there's actually no reason that you're actually withheld from your soulmate energy. Like, there's no real reason why you can't have love, the love you want. It's available. It's actually just not even being utilized because you're off mixing Two of Pentacles in reverse. If your hands are busy telling the non-truth, saying that this is what I really believe is the investment, this is what I want to build with, then this does stall out. You are really very clearly seeing that there's a deep correlation with actually realizing, like, the non-truth, the thing that you went up to and said was divine when it's not. It's actually just bullshit. It's definitely not divine. Is actually taking up the space of the thing that actually, there was definitely something supposed to be divine about your life. But I think because you went trying to create divinity in your life rather than, like, allowing yourself to understand that that's what life is. Life is divine. You're not looking for God to come out of a comet, because when you do that, you go align with boppers and bitches, and then you just inflate something that doesn't actually have any divine energy at all. And then there's an energy that, like, your life is magic, Scorpio. That's what I want to say, is like, your life is magic. You being alive right now with everything that you've done is, like, so magic. It's so, yeah, that's the magical part. And I feel like the soul level love that you're looking for is gonna come from the person that speaks to you like what you are is magic. Because I feel like this is my dad, but, like, I wrote last summer on the archive, like, a piece about my dad, about Black fathers, and I was honoring, you know, my Black father and how much I was really happy that my dad was a Black father, and that expressing his soul's energy through a Black masculine body really did matter to the story, and it's a part of something we should also give an accolade for. And my stepmom almost, like, threw me out of her house, and she was like, you're a demon trying to, like, you don't see your father for real, you still see him as a Black man. And I was like, okay, Miss Latanita, like, let's, like, calm it down. We know you got jungle fever, like, let's calm it down, like, let's chill the fuck out with the fucking kind of come over here to the fucking Planet of the Apes and trying to tell us what the fuck time it is. But it's kind of like that, dude. It's like, Scorpio, you kind of had somebody who genuinely, like, this soul love is, like, really proud and thinks what you are is magic. Thinks, like, what you, like, not, no, it's magic that you came out of your mom's cooter. That's what's magic. Not even what the fuck you do. You could never open your mouth again to this energy. And it's like, that's magic. That's awesome. This energy would always put their fucking best foot forward, because you could just be shitting and farting, and it's like, because they're in the disposition of gratitude that this magical phenomena is happening, versus the bitches that you're really locked in with, Scorpio, that you really, I think you just see it was always a lot deeper than what you claim, that in non-truth, in what you say is divine when it's not. I think with your, like, people who really love you, Scorpio, is like, you know they really love you because they know you do that sometimes. They know sometimes the way that you would play God is like, you would walk around and be like, pretty much anything that, because it's true, your magic follows you. So but that kind of does just turn, like, every room you walk into, Scorpio, turns into, like, the room you were just in. And you kind of can play in your ego and be like, no, everyone I'm around is a star, but they're not. They're not. Because you're not really doing that. There are people who are stars who choose to surround themselves by actually high quality people, but you'd have to have boundaries and shit for that. And I feel like a little loose level, like, low grade lie, like, you're kind of, like, lying on your spirit again, that era, like, let's be done. Because I think, like, the real love for you, like, is, like, I know we can't even do shit, brother, because I don't want you in the Scorpio cycle where you think it's even possible for you to lie on your spirit. You're the transformation process that happens in the tree of life that comes from the burning and transformation that comes from the truth. Your truth burns, you know? Like a motherfucker. It burns, it drowns, it sinks, it swims, it does a lot of shit. It does a lot of shit. So, let's keep going, shall we? Yeah, but I think you're learning that. Like, you are kind of comparing, like, the non-truth that you've claimed does exactly mirror your real truth. They do the same thing. But the problem is one of them is a match that burns out immediately and goes to hell. It's also like, in order to light this firework, it has to, like, kill somebody. That's not good. This is like consciousness consumers. Scorpio, you used to claim partners who, like, in order for you two to be in love, someone has to get hurt. This is a love that's like, no one has to get hurt for us to be in love at all. And ironically, the fucking old guy fucking geezers that you used to be, they used to make you really fearful and tell you the opposite. They used to say the real love of your life is actually going to ruin everything for you because of the dynamic, or what they tried to etch out, like, the details about the rapport with them, like lying, basically saying like that person is going to actually risk your investment, not the people that actually are risking your investment. Cancer new, whoa, yeah. I mean, Cancer new moon, it's like you're just drowning in your emotions for your soulmate. I don't know. It's like you have nothing but, you can't even think about anything else. The only thing that matters right now, Scorpio, is the real, how you really feel. This moon, it's just like, I think this is a big, I want to like hold space. This is like a big emotional space. It's like very big. It's a very big deal that it's like, you know, you're kind of just feeling like this. It's like at the same time of like, you're identifying this energy as this. At the same time that you're learning that through the fact that all of this has come from them. All of this has come from that frequency. Whoa, Scorpio, this is a very specific type of juxtaposition. Because it's like, there's your love at a distance, cut off from your emotions. Because the present joy is like this juxtaposition. Your current love is cut off from feeling your love. They actually can only really hear your reflections on the karmic third party, but all you're feeling inside while you're around this company is all emotions about the person that is not connected to your situation at all. You're like drowning and surrounded by energy from a person that is not even anywhere near considered for the party you're throwing. Yeah, your biggest fear is like, how big is this reparation? I mean, what is the price for a crucifixion? Scorpio, I feel like it's like, I think you're doing something that's so sterile and kind of humiliating, and like kind of just having to, you just look big and dumb, you know, because you've grown so much since the last cycle. I mean, I really keep seeing a year, but I feel like in a year's time, something like what you were on even a year ago is like nothing close to what you're on now. And I think this is just the mess of you trying to explain how much you've changed. I don't even think you know where you are in terms of how much you've grown. You've definitely done the most growing you've ever done in your life, like right now. Right? The most growing you've ever done, probably in the last year. And so much of the events that happened were actually destined and fated so that you could have like markers, so that you could be like, holy shit, I remember, let's say it's July right now. I remember July 2025 is so specific. And also, I think in equal parts, like the bullshit has definitely like is in a year interview, but I also think with this like lover energy, this love at a year, like how much it has grown, because it's so fresh on the mind. It's like, I feel like I remember when I first came across, like, it's just like where the love was again. I'm not even saying you met this energy. I don't even know. But I just feel like, Scorpio, for you, it's like where your sense of real present love was a year ago, that same love in a year's time has grown. It's like, and I just think it's the type of intensity that feels so you. It feels so natural. It feels like this is how much I naturally change. This is how much I'm always seeking to become anew. This is how much I crave like the fresh waters of rebirth and like baptism and just like freshness and purity all the time. Like sometimes when anything gets too heavy with the Scorpio, it's just like, I just want to be new. Fuck it. Just want to get on my motorcycle and fucking drive, you know? And I totally understand that, because I was like raised by a man who like showed me that type of temperament, and I really respect it. I understood it, you know? So in a lot of ways, like, yeah, it's the Bohemian in you rising, right? Like, it's just the part of you that's just like, oh my God. For what it's worth, I see the changes that I don't really care for. That, like, I see the relationships and the realities when you lie on your spirit, that and how they change in a year. But I also see how like pure, like deep, intense love. I think you're actually not scared of intense love anymore. And I think honestly, like this energy for you, however it comes, it's sort of Six of Cups energy, sort of like dealing with like the concept of like true soul level love. It's like, honestly, you're so grateful to it no matter what, because it's like you really needed to learn that distinction. I think as a person, you really needed to understand like what is the difference between like a karmic energy and like a soulmate frequency, like in practice. And I think now you have a really great tool, like learning tool, like for the rest of your life. You can kind of just be like, oh, that makes a shit ton of sense. Like a karmic relationship is going to grow and have its way in my life in this way. I remember this year when I committed at the same time to both types of relationships, and the karmic one did this in my life. The one that I was always in love with, whether I could tell the truth of that path or not and being in love with it or not, it did this in my life. And I think you're just seeing evidence of like how much the love can do for you in a year. And I think it's just more than maybe like a lifetime with karmics has ever even gotten done. And they haven't even been in you're not even in union with them. You know, I know it sounds like a dark tragedy to your love, but like you see so much light from the damned darkness of how coming into union really went, because it really shows like the truth all along, the power that you held all. It is very romantic, because we have to find romance in the truth of like deep transformation. And I just feel like you are such a rich and velvety lover. I genuinely feel like you have such it's like Taurus world on crack. It's like deeply deep feelings, you know? I know that, you know? And I feel like for you, Scorpio, you really learned that the interior of that deep velvety space of that is your love, can only really survive and even be seen for what it really is, with things that deserve that mirror, you know, that are that themselves. But I feel like you learned that you're this like rich, intense lover because you fell in love with a rich, intense lover. And they actually, the thing that about rich, intense lovers is they make you feel everything. They you know, if you are one and you're mirroring one another, they just make you go through it all, you know? And I think I was telling my husband that, I was like, that's why I'm so grateful to him, because people get married and they don't realize you're getting married for the partnership. The partnership says, no matter what happens, this is someone that I know my soul will feel the need to come back to work on it again. And a lot of people get married because they say, like, pick a good husband with good money and good busy meat and someone who's really attractive. It's like, that's actually not it at all. Sex is not even the root of the marriage. It's not even actually just like stability in what you're building. It's actually like in the game of life, if any circumstance happens, will you still work with this person? Would you still choose to work with this person? And I think you've had a lot of, like I said, I think you've had partnerships on both sides. to use at this point as learning material. But I do think for once in your life, you might actually have something that feels like it's worth letting yourself receive what you've defined so preciously as like love, the love of a lifetime, like the love that you want to have in this lifetime. I think you are, again, I think this is all coming from like, it's not even like it's not like you have low self-esteem. This is coming from someone who has been so saturated on having such high self-esteem for so long that it's more so like, I have such high self-esteem and I'm so tired of never being stimulated. But I think you realize that like, were you never being stimulated, or were we like really scared of the intensity and what intensity in deep stimulation is going to do? And I think because you couldn't control what this intense feeling you felt from this very obvious but I feel like the intensity that you felt there, you know, you kind of ran from it because of not being able to control where it was going to land you. But now you're in the end result of where it landed you, and it's, I feel like it's euphoric. I feel like your eyes, your ears, your mind, your soul, I think you watched love transform in front of you. Something you genuinely really love transform into a dream. I know it's like what's happening with my dad is like freaking him out. Because like he knows, he did so much work with like little primordial clay, Alexis. And for me to be molded so strongly by his hands, it's like super cool for me to experience as the person who is molded by my dad. Because I really struggled with that because I'm an Aquarius, so I really struggled with like the authority of feeling like submitting to my dad, like submitting to like, I have to accept that this is the black man that is molded who I am as a woman. And to my surprise, because I'm the type of person that would think about that deeply, God blessed me with a father with awesome character that I came to find. And I'm really grateful that my dad is actually a really good guy. Literally like a really like awesome guy, like just like a teacher, like really great with women, loves women, just like just good guy. So yeah, so I'm actually like, even though I have to submit to the fact that like I don't really have control in certain ways that my parents shaped me, like my parents are good people. That's not everybody's truth, but I will take it if that's my truth. So let's see how your outcome is, Scorps. Aww. Maybe the numbers 4-4 are significant to you, as I was like talking about repeated numbers. 4 of Cups reverse. I think you are trying to show that your cups are turned down to everything that isn't this. The third party. I think your final answer, your final score, Scorpio, is that what's needed from God, what's needed from this love is to know that you are like genuinely healed. Because the truth is, you do have placeholders. You actually are the one who orchestrated the fucking cat fight of your life. This side versus this side for your attention. You created it. Because you want the same thing out of all these people that you've assembled in your life. You want the same archetype, but only one of them is really what you want. And so this all comes down to like, are you gonna allow yourself to have what you want now? Because it's not anyone else's fault. They're correct. I feel like you're making us compete and compare. That's exactly what you're doing. It's not appropriate. So we need to figure out, like, you're not anybody's prize neither. You're gonna be someone's equal. So what's real? What's true for you? Who's in your story? Because it can't be all of it. It can't be, I feel like you have a lot of people playing the same role in your life. One of the biggest things that my dad, I didn't talk to him anymore. I was like, yeah, nigga, and just like you tell me, can't nobody play your daddy, and nobody's your daughter. Nobody is me. Scorpio, I tell my dad that all the time. He would fucking go and be like, this is my spiritual daughter because they go to my church, and he would treat her better than he would treat his own daughter. He didn't pay for my shit, didn't pay to help me with shit. Out of punishment. But he would go and pay for other bitches' shit just to try to be like, you see, because these bitches listen to my manipulation, that's why I pay them out. Okay, pimp whore, get out of my face. And you have fun being a fucking godless, spineless weasel puppet up there. It's karma for that. God fucking gave you 35 minutes, nigga. Don't make me call back on the forces. That nigga's only here because of me. Straight up. He doesn't know anyone who has my spiritual rank. It's me and my dad are a league of our own. you know? So when the healer needs to be healed, he don't got that many niggas to call, you know? But I'm genuinely gonna tell you this, Scorpio. There's something that you need to put to rest. And it has to do with all these options because you created all this. You made mini clones of the thing that you really want. And then you're trying to be like, mini clones, joust. It's like, they're not actually even mini clones of each other. This is just your sick sadistic way of like trying to. But I feel like this moon, you know who you know. I think you just genuinely didn't even have your feelings sorted out. I don't think it's been a while since you've really sat with what's been contemporarily going on with you. But I feel like this Cancer new moon, you are only sitting in a fucking ocean of emotions for one very particular energy. And it's who actually is this for Scorpio. I feel like that's the T, is like, who is Scorpio's lover? Who is it, Scorpio? I want to know. I'm dying to know who. I really don't know who Scorpio actually is in love with. I don't. Like with my dad, dude, that is the one thing with him. I genuinely don't know who he feels. Like the type of love that I be feeling with my husband and shit. Like I'm like, who do you feel that with for real? It could be a bunch of. I just don't know which of all the partners in affairs that he's had. I don't know. As his daughter, and I feel like I wish I could give those women more peace. Because it sucks coming into orbit with my dad, dude. He's so, like, life-altering kind of dude. You just kind of get sucked in, and then he's, like, your universe. And then a lot of times I just don't know if he's sorted through. So I kind of feel like that's you, Scorpio. Where I think you kind of need to, like... I think this moon was as intense and emotional as it was for you. Because, sorry, unfortunately, God really needed to, like, make you feel a lot of emotions for the right thing. I think the people in your life don't know. Genuinely don't know that one, that there's this much, but I think if you genuinely were to put this much emotion to like who it actually is for you, I just don't think you've shown up. It's not anyone's fault. You've never shown up like you felt that way. It's not because they wouldn't believe you could feel that way for them. No, I mean, it's just deep emotions, just true. But, you know, I think Scorpio, I think this is the same with my dad, is I think he's lived his whole life, but I don't think he knows which one of his life experiences was true love. I think Scorpio, I think Scorpio is not my dad. I think Scorpio is having maybe true love for the first time, and I think you've never actually felt it before. Yeah, because there's just this primordial feeling, is like you're expecting it. You know this is going to cause damage. You know whatever you were doing with the third parties was inevitably going to end. So whenever you're kind of like you're in your body a lot with a lot of anxiety, because it's like, I know all these are going to fall down, and I hope our two cups are still standing. Once everything I put between this relationship really falls down, I hope it's all still standing genuinely. Because I think the thing that you want to go before God and say it's me, you, and God is like, it's an angelic. I think Scorpio, you want an angel. I think Scorpio, you have all the power that fuels the underworld straight up at your disposal. And I think it's really normal for you to want to have an angel as like a love, you know? I think you really want to go for something that feels angelic. I think you keep trying to build a bitch and make everybody into some sort of form of like what you feel like is an earthly angel, genuinely. You need that. I feel like as much darkness as you think you have the power over, you don't want to go dark. You really feel like it would be really good for you to have the counsel of someone that wants to be an angelic presence. It would be good for you to be in love with something like that. Because angels, earth angels, Sagittarian energy, this is like something that I feel like my dad would come to the conclusion of. It's like, Wanda was really great for his energy because he has the power to be like, fucking die, like type of dude. And my mom is like, damn for that. She's like super opposite. They're super, like in a lot of ways, where she's like, like, all right, Buster Rhymes, let's chill out. You know, like it's not that. And I think that's what you really realize is gonna help. It would be better to collaborate and to work and have contracts with things like that, angelic energies. But I think we started this by you just wanted that. You want to be married to an angel, but you can't just like make everything you walk up to an angel. No, like let yourself be vulnerable and be like, God, I want an angel, and then like let God bring you that. I just think it's a little hard because the King of Wands wants to come into union with something it's already hurt. But you hurt it spiritually. It would be different if it's like, I called her fat or something. No, like, you said you didn't like them. That's the issue, Scorpio. You've already made a whole story up that, like, you don't like this thing at all. It's a lot harder to, like, accept somebody as your soulmate when you've already, like, told everybody that you don't. It's not what they are. That's not how I feel. Most importantly, you've already told them that that's not how they feel. So you know that. You know that these emotions you felt under the moon, you just had to hold yourself because you literally lied to them. You were like, oh, you're not. And maybe when you told them you didn't know it was a lie because it really was coming from a place if you hadn't explored your feelings enough yet. But you did claim that it's like, nah, this is not true love. So they moved forward in life like, yeah, it's not true love for Scorpio and me. Like, it's really my vibe. Like, my dad, like, even to this day, I was like, my dad doesn't like me. He doesn't like what I do. No, he calls me like a demonic. Yeah, I know. But I mean, with Scorpios, like, for me, it's like, I know when Scorpio doesn't like me. Like, when Scorpio, like, does come up to me, it's like, I'm not fucking with you. Like, I let them sit with their feelings, but I just, like, genuinely am like, it's all good, dude. Like, it's all good, you know? I'm definitely never upset when Scorpio's like, it's not you type of thing. Because I've already, like, experienced that. Like, you know, Scorpio is powerful and awesome, but if they're not really supposed to be on your path anyway, then, like, just kind of detach from, like, the intensity and wanting to be a part of the intensity, because if they're not on your path, they're probably just telling you the truth, you know? In your recent past, the Fool and the Hierophant, I mean, you kind of already have wanted to start this commitment to, like, being a more spiritual person, you know, choosing your highest path. And that's why you're really trying to come into union with something that you know is, like, the only thing you can really stably build something with from your King of Rods. Because Scorpio, you just kind of know you're kind of like King of Rods. You're kind of like, it's like you hot-headed and kind of just like, it's like, fuck it, I'll blow it up. And it's like, I don't know, it's just like this earth angel just like makes you just like, I don't even need to push the right button. I'm like, I'm good. This thing is so delicate. It's like, yeah, just like really needed aloe vera on a, like, sun situation on the skin or something. It's like, you definitely need love in your life, I think, Scorpio. It's just like, I don't know what that love is for you. Again, a lot of this has to do with, like, the ball's in your court. I mean, what do you want? I don't know, what do you want? It looks like you have you've arranged a bunch of people, and they're all very aware now that you're doing some sick, twisted thing where you're trying to find who's your angel. But could you make it a little less public that you're, like, sifting through whole ass bitches trying to figure out who's this? Because I think it's kind of unflattering. If you really are going to find an angel in the end, like, what are you going to go up to him and tell him? Like, I did this big excavation where I, like, degraded all of you to shit just to figure out, like, from the inside out who's an angel. Sometimes you have to let, like, someone who's an angel be a miracle in your life. I feel like that's what you did. You, like, kind of, all you really did here is, like, I guess the same thing is going to happen, but it's like, the story's not going to be like they came to you miraculously. It's going to be kind of like you finagled it to shit. And it's also like, I feel like you really shot a lot of shots. I feel like you really, like, you've been sending so much messaging to the thing that is really 10 of Cups for you. Just trying, I guess, to invest your creative power into that. Because I guess you know the laws of the universe. It's like, if I just, like, put my energy towards that, which I really want to create, which I think you're trying to do from a high view, I think at the end of the day, your truth is probably going to be for whatever your love is like, you're what I'm trying to create moving forward. Like, genuinely. Yeah, because there wasn't actually a plot here. It was actually just someone who didn't know what they wanted. Also, like, super unromantic kind of vibes. It's like, my dad, my mom, like, I did not love watching a Scorpio man be a romantic, because, like, sometimes he was just, like, fucking, my mom just was, like, he just, like, sometimes would be so, like, dry with my mother, like, unromantic, and just, like, her wedding ring, and, like, her, it's not even about this stuff. It's, like, sometimes he was just, like, because he just, like, this shit doesn't matter, it's not true, like, he would just reduce, like, physical presence, or, like, being there, or, like, the thought of roses or flowers. It's like, yeah, okay, that's not God's love, but it's like, it's guy, it's like something. I just feel like that's how Scorpio, to be honest with you, that's like, I was just like, I have the most unromantic falling in love version of the story. I don't know. I just think you've been so in every other aspect of how this is all unfolding, but it's about you and love. And you're not in love with any of this stuff that you're always, like, doing shit with. And a lot of people don't even have, like, true love. But you do, and you, like, don't do anything with it. Yeah, I guess you are going to have to speak to this empire feeling, but it's like in the near future, like, I just want you to be prepared. Like, you're going to have to come through the front door of your love's boundaries. And I don't think we're taking it that serious enough. Because if you're their true love, God told them and had them prepare to keep their heart open, because they were told you were never ever supposed to ever even kind of cross them ever. You were never supposed to come in through this door with them. It's never supposed to be this way, Scorpio. You with an empire of feeling at their boundaries, where they're so... And yeah, I guess you better come with all that shit that's, like, missing here. I think, Scorpio, like, the way that you've treated love, it just doesn't feel special at all. You really know how to make people feel super fucking insignificant. Like, they don't matter. And that's not done by saying mean things or telling the truth or cutting someone off. It's actually done by not even acknowledging them. Just acting like they don't even exist has done so much damage to this love's chance at surviving. You're having to go up to someone who, after you've gone to the fucking lab, the conclusions and the results show that it was them the whole time, and you have the feelings under this moon to match it. You've got the life evidence to show everything that you ever built together is still strong and growing, but it's like, what are they supposed to say right now to you, Scorpio? What changed? Because that past with the clones was painful. You didn't have that happen to you. this person never filled you with a clone. That's the other part. You got the privilege of them staying completely loyal to you, not filling your place with anything. They never said someone else was playing the role you would play. But it looks like you have done nothing but tell them time and time again that everyone can play that part that they play in your life with ease. And you're going to let them in their face. I'll say this, Scorpio. As your retired military general, when we are in deep shit like this, we got to be in solutions. So you're going to need to put your fucking Shisha Knights uniform on. And right now you cannot think about the negative outcome. The ball is in your court. You are still being asked to deliver your face-to-face truth. You need to be aware that you're going to be coming and speaking to this person from their boundaries. You need to understand that they're feeling total despondent disconnection to you because you chose the route where they don't exist. And that was cruel and unusual. And now you're supposed to exist in their face with an empire of feelings that they've been suffering on end, being told, stamped out by the world that they don't exist. And here they are in surplus. You need to be meditating over the slight, merciful chance that it works out for you. That you make it through the boundaries with your Knight of Wands. What you're proposing makes it through and it completes this wounding cycle. And you need to be coming with an Ace of Wands and an Ace of Pentacles. You need to know exactly what the fuck new world, new beginning you're going to have outside of the one you decimated that God wrote. This will probably be the hardest magic trick you can pull off. I will be honest with you. Karma is riding on the backside of it. And your solution has to be something that Lady Justice approves of. Because this person was actually revoked from you by their ancestors and justice. Because of what you did to them. Because of the spiritual laws you broke against them. Because the Cancer moon came and went. And this is what you did. You let fear make you run away. It drove you into the arms of the non-truth. The comfortable, complacent thing. So you really fucked yourself. For sure. Because I told this for the first time, Scorpio, it's not that if you choose wrong and you go the karmic path, when it spills, that just ends. These karmics end because like the planet's ending. So like you really feel hell on earth right now because you're left with a bunch of third-party people where our relationships are all spilled now. It's not good because you basically had to tell them, I have a Two of Cups. But again, you're having to tell them in this manner because of your own actions. That actually in the end, I'm just going to move, spirit's moving me away from the situation now. You know, it's like, yeah, you were always going to have to go back to the Two of Cups, duh. Because that's the shit that's really for you. That's what you were assembling all this bullshit in the first place to really simulate. Your Two of Cups. But you never picked which one actually reflects what you're looking for. At some point, you just ended up having like 9 cups to drink out of. And you actually ended up ruining your relationship with your 2 cups. It's like what would happen if you put the wife that you actually are in love with through the episode of The Bachelor, or a season of The Bachelor, and made your wife, like the meeting your wife on The Bachelor, okay, I guess, if she can get past the like initiation ritual, but that's what the vibe is. So, Scorpio. Let's end on a higher note. Again, I think you just need to be focused on, obviously, you know that you have to reconcile the situation, but you really just need to be focused on like what the version of the story where it works out. And Alexis, I'm thinking of my father, but like, for example, I'm thinking of like the part of like where, okay, say we're rectifying, sorry, but Alexis is like, okay, yeah, I need to like rectify the situation. I need to understand that like, where's the version of me that's like successfully doing what I came here to do. You can't have this, like, because a lot of times Scorpio, you don't hold accountability. So when it's time for you to say sorry, you're not going to actually like follow through for the understanding of like, okay, this sorry is connected to like getting me through and to it. You just kind of give up at the sorry because you're like, it's not even going to work. You're already mad at me, so I'm not going to say sorry. No, you say sorry to change the present condition of mad. Your words have power. That's where your transformative power really is in your action. In like how you can change the action of the situation. But if your action is that I'm not even going to try to do the action, because if I try to do the action, you're going to say no because you're already mad. Anyways, let's see the outcome. If Scorpio really puts together a comprehensive, self-aware reckoning, what is our vibe? Exactly. You can manifest this relationship back. You can. It's within your realm of capabilities. I think that's even why your cup is not stressed. It's in your capabilities. So like all the things you've struggled with, I think that's the whole point. All of your struggles have been self-induced, Scorpio. They have. That's why you're fucking, the love that's for you, they don't take you, they're like, dude, you're just too dramatic. There wasn't anything wrong. It's like what my mom would say to my dad. There wasn't anything wrong with our fucking family. This nigga he just hard-headed. Nothing, there was no bigger thing, but if you don't try, if you're not going to put in the effort, then there's nothing getting done. And I think you've been saying nothing is getting done because of all these blockages, and all that got disproven by the divine. Nobody was in your way. It's not even the bros around you's fault. It's your fault for what you haven't moved on. There's no need to blame anyone, Scorpio. It's literally your work to do. To get the things you want, yeah, you got to say what you want and go get it. It's nobody's fault. So that's our hour mark, Scorpio. Love you guys. Be blessed. Have an amazing day. I'm going to go do lunch. Bye.